I guess we can start. So hello again, I'm Stephen Violi from the Psychology Webinar Group, and today we have a special broadcast on the depressed brain from Dr. Marwa Azab, who's a neuroscientist who has studied the two disciplines of psychology and biology and has lectured at quite a few universities. And I'm just going to turn on the PowerPoint presentation, and Dr. Razab can take us into it. So welcome, Dr. Razab, and we'll go into the presentation.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so I think you've done a good introduction. I'm not going to go on because I do have quite a few slides to get through. While doing my research for this presentation, there's quite a plethora of information on depression out there. In fact, it seemed like the freeway of ideas on the topic has gotten so congested that the field was lacking an organized overall theory of depression. So if you can please advance the slides. Steve?
Yep, can you see the next one?
Yeah, thank you. So in my talk, here is a quick outline of what the talk hopefully ambitiously include. We're going to go over exactly what is a mood disorder and why should we care about a mood disorder beyond the symptoms of sadness. Generally speaking, what are very broadly the categories of mood disorders. And then in light of the recent publication of the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Manual of All Psychiatric Disorders, some of the very recent changes, so clinicians listening to the podcast would be aware of. And then I'm going to narrow or focus the talk a little bit to only focus in one category of mood disorders, more specifically that is major depressive disorder. Look at the criteria, look at some of the causes. Here's a quick outline of what the talk hopefully ambitious.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
Yep.
And then go to talk about perhaps the title of this talk, which is The Brain on Depression. And I'm using the word on depression on purpose to kind of make the point that the brain could also be off depression. That just because the brain on depression might look different, it doesn't mean that it has to be permanently that way. And then look at some of the anatomical differences in terms of depressed brain versus a non-depressed one. In addition, I'll be looking at some of the chemical differences in the nervous system for someone who suffers from depression versus someone who doesn't. And then look at some of the genetic predispositions. And of course, it wouldn't be a psychological talk if we don't look at how stress and life experiences affect or lead to depression, if you will. And then conclude with treatments and some of the different treatments. So again, this is an ambitious outline, but I hope to get through all of it. So if we can, let's begin the presentation. If you can advance to the next slide.